Welcome to all to this video. So today we'll see about the basics of single block brakes and the problems on single block brake. So this is the arrangement of single block brake, and you can see this is a wheel drum and this is a block brake pressing on the wheel drum, and this is the force P acting on the lever at a fulcrum O here. So there is a different condition. The fulcrum may act. The fulcrum may and the line of action of the brake, or fulcrum may below or fulcrum may above. So we'll see all the three cases. So this is the first case. Fulcrum is acting on the line of action. So the P is acting on the downwards. So there will be always a normal reaction acting here, normal Rn. So this is the frictional force acting here. So wheel rotates clockwise. So the frictional force acting on the, it is not opposing, so it shows the direction of force of acting. Okay, so frictional force is also acting on the wheel towards the rotation of the wheel drum. So P is acting downwards, normal reaction acting upwards, and frictional resistance acting on the direction, relating to the direction of the rotation of the wheel, and is also clockwise. Suppose similarly the rotation anti-clockwise. Now the force P acting downwards, normal reaction acting upwards, and F is acting on the rotation of the drum like this. So now the frictional resistance will offer Ft is equal to, this value is equal to mu into Rn. Mu is the coefficient of friction of wheel. So force P is applied at the end of the lever, Rn is the normal force, and R is the radius of the wheel, and 2 theta is the angle of contact of the surface block. So 2 theta. If you increase the theta value, so the friction resistance value also may be increasing. Mu coefficient of friction at T is the tangential braking force or the frictional force acting on the contact surface of the block at the wheel. Now we will see what is the tangential braking force. So this Ft value is equal to mu into Rn. Multiply the normal reaction value into mu, will get Rn value, or if you want to find Rn value, Ft by mu is Rn. So normal torque is force into radius. So this force is tangential force into radius. So you know the Ft is mu Rn. Substitute the mu Rn here. So Tb value is mu Rn into R. Braking torque Tb is mu into R into R. So I already told you as dealing with the first case, the line of action of the tangential braking force Ft passes through the fulcrum of the lever O, and the brake wheel rotates clockwise. That is, the O and the Ft is on the same line, and the wheel is rotating clockwise. Now we will see what is the equation. So taking moment about fulcrum O, so three forces acting P, Ft, Rn. These three forces acting. P is acting at L, Rn is acting perpendicular distance of x, and Ft is acting at a distance of this radius. Okay. So Ft is acting, Ft into 0. Since it is acting in the same line, it is 0. So this formula is also available in the PhD data with 7.97. I will show you. Taking moment of the fulcrum O, this Fp into L, so Fp Rn is opposing, so both will acting in the different direction. P into L equal to Rn into x. P is acting downwards, Rn is acting upwards at distance of x. P is acting downwards at a distance of L. So Ft is also acting on the clockwise, but it is at a distance of 0 from the O. The perpendicular distance and the Ft is 0, so you are not considering Ft here. So Rn into x is equal to P into L, or you can find out to find Rn normal reaction PL by x. So braking torque is force into radius. So this F is mu Rn. So F is mu Rn. So you know the Rn value PL by x, you can substitute Tb equal to mu PL R by x. Use the PhD data book, page number 7.97. You can see different cases here. Case 1, case 2 and case 3 is given. So you have to select properly the cases and you have to apply the formula here. So the notation may be differs what I am explaining now. So but you can choose. So if you understand the problem, you can choose the P, so normal reaction value, this is F. So maybe A, B, R values are changing and distance fulcrum values also change. So you can choose according to the formula, you can substitute value, you can find out what is the breaking force P value or any value you can find out. Instead you can understand the problem, easily you can solve without going to the data book, you can find out the value. And the wheel rotates anti-clockwise. So now also the Ft is also 0 perpendicular distance. So the braking torque is same for both the condition. When Ft is acting on the line of O. So both clockwise and anti-clockwise with the same value R into X equal to Pn. So Tb equal to mu R into R, mu PL R by X. Now we'll go to the second condition. Second condition is the somewhat you have to take very carefully. When the line of action tangential force through a distance below the fulcrum and the brake wheel rotates clockwise as shown. So the Ft is acting below the fulcrum of A. So when it's acting clockwise, the Ft is, we have to add the Ft value either to the Rn or P. So during clockwise, if you see P is acting downwards, that is clockwise, Rn opposes, so we take it to the other side. So always the P and Rn will be in the either side, it cannot be in the same side. So P clockwise, Rn opposite to the P, so I am putting here. Now the T into A during clockwise, it helps the normal reaction. So the Ft into A helps in the normal reaction. So Rn into X plus Ft into A. So when the Ft is acting downwards the fulcrum A, so for clockwise, so Ft supports normal reaction. So understand like this. So otherwise all things are same. So you can find out what is Rn. Braking torque is mu F into R, that is mu R into R. Ft is mu R into R. So clockwise direction, your Ft supports normal reaction. Similarly, in the anti-clockwise direction, we see this P as acting clockwise, Rn opposes, so we'll put both on the other side, and this Ft supports this applied force value. So during anti-clockwise value, your Ft supports anti-clockwise P value. Okay, in the clockwise it supports normal reaction, in the anti-clockwise direction it supports P. So you keep remember this. So now you can solve the similar value like this. Either you can find any of the value, Tb equal to mu Rn into R. You can find any of the value here. Okay. So Ft is acting at a distance of A from here. Now we'll see the third condition. At a distance of above the fulcrum, the braking force passes the distance A above the fulcrum. Just see the diagram. The Ft is acting A above the fulcrum. So now you can easily write the equation. When it rotates clockwise, P is rotating clockwise, Ft is also acting on the side of rotation, so Ft is also clockwise, and Rn opposes P. So put Rn in one direction, P is clockwise, Ft is clockwise, put in the other direction. So Rn into X, so P into L and Ft into A. So if you simplify the value, we'll get Tb equal to F into R, that is mu R into R. So instead of Rn, I can substitute this value PL X minus UA. So we will get this value. Similarly, in anti-clockwise direction, so anti-clockwise direction, so Ft is acting towards this direction. So line of action is A below here. So drum at anti-clockwise direction. So F is rotating clockwise. Here Rn opposes the P, and Ft is also acting anti-clockwise. Okay, I will write the equation. So Rn into x, Rn is acting in the x, and Ft into A, both are rotating in the same direction. P is alone the clockwise, so these two in the anti-clockwise. So Rn into x plus Ft into A equal to P into L. So on simplifying the equation, we find out Rn equal to PL by x plus mu A, and Tb is F into R, mu PLR by x plus mu A. Okay, so now using this you can find out some more values. When the brake wheel rotates anti-clockwise, so you can see some equations are with the same equation. So anti-clockwise in case 2 and clockwise in case 3, we will get the same equation like this. Okay, that is your mu Rn will helps your PL. PL is applied force, and also some value is added to this mu Rn, that is mu Rn is a Ft value. So this supports this value, okay, during this rotation. So this is called self-energizing brake like this. From the above expression, if you see, if x is less than or equal to mu A, and P will be negative or equal to 0. So if you want to find out what is the value of self-locking, so P into L equal to, we reduce the equation, P equal to x minus UA. Okay, if x is less than mu A, so this value will go to 0. Okay, so always you should keep your x values more than your UA value. That is, we see the diagram. This x value should not be too much closer. Okay, you should keep the x value always more than say value. So keep some applied value. Otherwise, even if you are not applying the P value, your braking may occur. So always keep this x value greater than your mu A value. Okay, mu value is very small value. So you should not keep this too much closer. It should not be reduced x. This means no external force is needed to apply the brake, and the brake is self-locking. Therefore, the condition for the brake is x is less than or equal to mu A. I will see the other condition when it is self-energizing. So self-energizing means already we know some cases. If you write the equation, on two cases you will get this equation like this. So the mu Rn will add with this PL. So this is called self-energizing brake. The moment of frictional force adds to the moment of force P. So this is self-energizing brake. Added to this, some more formula is there. So to find the pressure, bearing pressure acting on the shoe is force by area. That is pressure equal to force by area. So the area is width of the shoe into projectile length of the shoe. This area AB is, so with this W and projectile length you can calculate 2R sin theta. So when the angle of contact is greater than 60 degree, so when the angle is greater than 60 degree, so your frictional value also gets increased. So if in the problem they given more angle than 60 degree, then you have to find out a new mu dash value like this: 4 mu sin theta 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. Using this value you got to find out new mu dash. Instead of mu Rn you have to use mu dash Rn. So like this. Now we'll see one problem on single block brake. The force P to be applied at the end of the lever. You have to find out the force P applied and location of the pivot. The problem goes like this: the block brake provides a braking torque of 360 Newton millimeter. The diameter of the brake drum is 300 millimeter. The coefficient of friction is 0.3. The force P to be applied at the end of the lever for the clockwise and counterclockwise rotation of the drum. The location of the pivot fulcrum to make the brake self-locking for the counterclockwise direction of the brake. So you have to find out force P applied and location of the pivot when to make self-locking for the clockwise direction. So these are the given values, torque and the mu value is given. So this is available in the this comes under case 3, that is your line of action acting above the fulcrum. Okay, acting as a below, so case 3. So case 3 formula is also available in the page number 7.97. Either you can use this formula or you can solve based on what you have learnt, understood from the equation. For clockwise direction, so braking torque 360, we can write here. For clockwise direction, the frictional force or the tangential force acting at the contact surface zone. So braking torque TB equal to force into radius. So radius of the brake drum is given 0.15. So your FT values you can find out 360 by 0.15, 2400 Newton. Okay, you can find out. So the P is acting R opposes, FT is acting in the direction of rotation of the drum. Okay. Now, so to find normal force, so we know Ft equal to mu into Rn, or Rn equal to Ft by mu. So 2400 by 0.3, you get 8000 Newton. Now you take the moment of fulcrum O. Okay, so take the moment, P is acting clockwise, Ft is also acting the clockwise, and Rn the other side. So P, the total P from moment is 200 plus 600, 800, and Ft is acting at a distance of 50 from fulcrum O, perpendicular distance, force into perpendicular distance, and R under 200. Already we know the value of Ft and Rn, substitute all the value, can find out the P value is 1850 Newton. Okay, this is clockwise rotation. Now during anti-clockwise. Okay, so it is asked what is the value of self-locking when P equal to 0. So condition for self-locking is always P equal to 0, and here what is the value of X. So you keep the value of 50 as X and you have to find out what should be the value of X. Okay, now for clockwise rotation, write the equation. So this is the equation of clockwise rotation. So already you have found out P is acting clockwise, Ft clockwise, Rn opposes. So P 600 to 200, Ft, instead of keeping 50, you keep it as X, and Rn the opposite direction minus Rn to 200. Okay, so in order to keep the brake self-locking, Ft into X must be equal to Rn to 200. If you put P is 0, and the Rn goes other side. Okay, so you can write, so Ft into X equal to Rn to 200. So you know the Ft value and Rn value. The X is the only unknown, you can find out. X value is 667. Okay, so if the value of 200, that is X value should be 667. Okay, that is if the X value goes 667, that means this Ft into Rn, this 50. If you keep on increasing the value, so at 667 millimeter, this will be goes to self-locking. This is a condition of, so you should not too much increase the value of Ft. Okay, thank you.